Hey, I'm Brian from BMA Comics Con, and today is day 10 of the 100-day comic book challenge, and we're going to take a look at Amazing Spider-Man number 16. Previously in Amazing Spider-Man. Taskmaster and Black Ant captured Rhino and took him away. Spider-Man was there, but wasn't able to stop them. Kraven has changed his mind as to how to deal with the people who come into his domain and hunt the creatures of the land. He still won't tolerate the guides and poachers, but he has come to understand those who wish to be hunters, so he plans to make them real hunters. Kraven has been using Taskmaster and Black Ant to capture animal-themed supervillains. His plans for these villains are that he, his son, and Arcade can host an event to have the wealthiest people that wish to hunt the villains. Oh, and if you didn't know Kraven had a son, that's because before this issue he didn't. He had a daughter, but he wants a proper heir, a son, so he cloned himself 87 times, and only one survived, the one that hunted the rest, proving himself the best hunter of the group and became Kraven's last and favorite son. Will this experience evolve the supervillains? What happened to Kraven's daughter? Is Kraven doing this to help the hunters or the hunted? To find out these answers and more, subscribe and check out the next issue of Amazing Spider-Man. I guess they're trying to do a Kraven story that could rival Kraven's last hunt. I'm not sure if this is the way to go about it. Kraven's motivations seem off to me. He wants an heir to whom he can pass his kingdom, and that's the reason for the 87 sons. Okay, and one problem he has is that people are coming into his kingdom for senseless violence. So his goal is to get rid of the problem, but he doesn't fault the people for wanting to hunt. So you're telling me that his plan is to just turn their focus on a more worthy and deserving target instead of the animals that naturally live there? Is this supposed to evolve them into eventually just hunting the criminals in New York instead of the animals of Africa? If so, when did Kraven become such a humanitarian? Because he isn't just convincing them to hunt the criminals, he's saying that the criminals need to get in touch with their animal counterparts and become a proper totem. Honestly, I didn't think animal totems were that simple. I thought there was more to becoming a totem than just wearing a costume of an animal. But apparently Kraven is going to teach us a thing or two about totems, because some of the people he captured and are calling totems don't even have powers of the animal. It's just a costume. Nick Spencer is a good writer, and this issue is written okay. I do have faults in it, and I'm not sure if the story's for me. It'll depend on what direction he takes in it. This story is about hunting people. I would have preferred a more serious look when it comes to Kraven in this story. I get this cartoonish art style helps take away from the harsh themes of the story, but I don't see Kraven as a funny bad guy, so I would like to have seen more realistic art style. I'm an adult and can understand that this issue is serious about his stance on hunting, so I'd like to see the more dark side of the story in the art. But I know that this isn't just for adults, and I'm forgetting that this is a Spider-Man book, so they're not going to do that. The cover shows the more serious tone of this book that the art doesn't. I like the cover to this issue, but the B cover on the other hand is not my favorite. Captain Marvel comes out this week, but I want to say this cover isn't doing her any justice. To be honest, I didn't have a favorite part. No one part of this stood out to me. As I'll explain at the end, I'm more excited as to how this ends rather than the story itself. Looking at the Savage 6, I want to know who are these people that are going to attempt to hunt these villains? Well, I have to give it to them. For if you can choose to hunt something that knows they're being hunted and aren't wounded beforehand, that at least is some accomplishment. Though I'm not a hunter, never had to, my food can't run away from me. I'm not a big fan of this issue and story, but it hasn't even started, and I can say that it isn't doing a good job of introducing the story. Nick Spencer has been leading to the story, but not with big anticipation. I'm gonna give this 5 out of 10. This is a prelude and I don't feel any more excited for the story than before reading it. But if you plan on reading Hunted, you'll probably want to read this issue, otherwise you could easily pass on it. I will get the next issue because I want to see where Nick Spencer goes with this. I'm expecting a lot of dead rich people who thought it was a good idea to hunt super criminals. And even better if after this we get the trial of the Savage 6, where they must prove innocence by means of self-defense, and build a case for PTSD for actions after. There you have it, my review of Amazing Spider-Man 16, Road to Hunted. Please, let me know your thoughts on this comic and video in the comments below. If you like reviews of your favorite comic books, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Until next time, Brian out.